August 18th, 2025. Any public comments? Want to thank whoever brought in the cooler weather. Much appreciated.
It was startling last night. It got down to the 40s.
Yeah.
I had the window open. I'm like, holy cow.
Any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda?
I do not believe so.
Okay, good. Well, rolling right along. Approval of the minute on the 8th, the 11th of August, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Further discussion, calling for a vote on approval of the minutes for August the 11th.
Bard, aye.
David, I.
Jay, I.
Aye, motion passes. Next up, we have warrants, I believe, for the warrants here, number 22,710 in the amount of 29,103.38. A motion,
This is David. Move to approve.
Ms. Bard, I'll second that.
any discussion? So there's discussion calling for a vote to approve the minutes. I mean, not minutes, I'm sorry, the warrants.
Bard, aye.
David, I.
Jay, I.
Morgan, aye, motion passes. Next up, so there are no purchase orders to approve. So the first meeting of September is on Labor Day. And I think we want to maybe consider moving that to the next day.
It should be Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes.
I move we move the regularly scheduled meeting of the Water and Sewer Commission from Labor Day to the day after.
This is David. I'll second.
No discussion, calling for a vote on moving the next meeting to the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Bard, abstain.
David, I.
Jay, I.
Morgan, aye.
That was a squeaker.
Motion passes.
I have a,
Speaking of,
Oh, okay,
I have a conflict that night.
okay.
what's your conflict?
I will be camping in a cabin with my wife and who knows who else.
Bears?
Big,
Yeah, I have to miss the first meeting of the select board in October because I'm gonna be in Greece. I think that's a pretty damn good excuse.
yours is better.
Yeah.
All right, motion passes, so we're moving that meeting from the 1st to the 2nd of September. Next up, update on easement obtainment for Tilden Avenue, Bridge Street, and Cochran Road Waterline Replacement Project. I see that we have 2 signed easements returned as to date. Actually, there are 3.
We'll have Melissa's today.
Yeah.
So we're 3 down. Awesome.
We done, and I was going.
That is Melissa's house.
That is Melissa's house, but I didn't, I don't know marital law in Vermont. I did have to sign it. But
You're the witness.
Yeah, that's right. I had something about, right. I have some sort of ownership of it by marriage.
Either way, we have the easement.
Yeah, Melissa. I'm gonna call it Melissa's easement, and I'm happy. Anybody that you haven't delivered, like the Witters, have you delivered?
No, they've got theirs.
Okay.
We have, I think, I was looking at them today. There are 3 that we're gonna have to mail because they're rental units, the apartment building.
On at the corner of Tilden and
No, the big apartment building just down from you.
oh, the Powers, okay.
Yeah, we'll have to mail that one. There's 2 more, there's one on Cochran Road and one over here that are also rental units that we'll have to mail. But I believe we've handed out all of them except for the very last, the end one on Cochran Road. I forget his name, but he hasn't been home lately. I think he may be vacationing or something.
Okay.
But we've tried, but pretty much all of them have been handed out.
Okay. I'm happy to reach out to the Powers as well. Great.
So, yeah. everything anybody talked to me about that was good and they were all ready to, well, I have Mrs. Poley. I didn't get in contact with her today.
Yeah.
She asked for some questions. She didn't have any when we handed them to her, but, I haven't followed up with her yet. Well, we tried, but she wasn't home.
Yeah, you guys have been great with it. I appreciate going door to door and answering questions.
I don't have a problem, have the map and we can mark the place out like we did for Bard and, yeah. Anything we can do to get this process going so we can get out to bid and get construction done early next year so we can get the pavement fixed, right?
We have a block party coming up in September, so.
We're gonna start right that date, no.
Yeah,
And turn the water on.
you know, a bunch of kids, boycotting you there, so.
Be a good place to get signatures.
It would, but we'd have to have a notary there. Oh, there we go.
I mean, there's a bunch of, Becky's a notary and she lives on the street.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, well,
Yep. I'm sure that there are others there. We'll have to check into that. That might be good. We can have a little book for coming out. Looks like.
when is it?
That's a completely reasonable thing to do.
Lucy's.
Yeah.
Opinions or something.
The notary is in 5 cents.
There you go. When is that?
It's I think it's the first weekend of September,
So it'll be like the 7th,
the sixth. So it'll
6th,
be on
7th.
Saturday, and then if it's raining, it's the following Saturday.
I can't do the following Saturday, but I can do the,
Well, I'll be there.
yeah,
Yeah,
but maybe we should, if we can contact a notary to be there and.
there's any number of us in town. Denise, where does Denise lives in Jonesville? But there's
Yeah.
a bunch of us around. But like I said, Becky Vigneault lives right on the street. If she's available, if not, you can call me. We can plan ahead and bring a card table.
Okay.
Yeah,
As long as the neighborhood's okay with easement talk during the gathering.
I think it would be good, especially, yeah.
really, the talk on Tilden was, the response from most people was good. I didn't.
Happy to do it. It'd be great to get as many of those. in place
Yeah.
as possible.
Yep.
And let people know. Guess we can move on to the next item here. Discussion of installing additional, I'm sorry, was there any more conversation about that?
No.
Okay. Discussion of installing additional curb stops during the Tilden Ave Bridge Street Waterline replacement. Josh?
So yeah, just doing some research, looking at the allocation ordinance and the water ordinance. And the allocation ordinance talks a lot about like your designs, how much you're gonna use for water. So I don't think anybody would have that if they don't have a plan and they just have a curb stop. So it looks to me like you could put the curb stop in and not have to pay for an allocation, but you run the risk that if you wait 15 years, maybe there's not an allocation there for you. We do have a couple accounts that pay an allocation fee, which is half of it, either commercial and government or half of the residential fixed. But those are for accounts that have already paid for their allocation, so they're basically reserving their space, saying that we want this allocation, we haven't built anything yet.
Like Dan playing there in Railroad.
I think Danois is one of them, and I think Buttermilk has one as well. Other than that, I think that those are the ones that.
Or?
Isn't that sewer as opposed to water?
Yes,
Might,
the allocation.
I didn't see anything for
Yeah, I
allocation
think
for water.
It's based on sewer.
Divided, yeah, it looked like it was all sewer, so I don't know that we have a water allocation ordinance, we've got some of these things that don't have. So I think we sort of follow the sewer, I mean, but even in the water allocation, when we've had requests for it. We need to know how much you're requesting and the engineer signs off on, yeah, it's 2 bedrooms or it's a restaurant with this many tables.
right.
So,
So we're just putting the infrastructure in, so should they desire to have another hookup, then they could buy the allocation and.
that's how I read it. Yeah,
I thought also
And-
of a
And
safety net or an out. According to the ordinance, there's a $5 shut off fee. So I can put it in and I'll give you $5 to turn it off.
Or not turn it on.
Yes.
We're in a rare mood tonight, obviously.
My only
Yeah.
reservation with this is I know what's going to happen. Everybody, yes, I want to put a curb stop in. Nobody documents where it is, what it
No,
is.
that all is not gonna happen. I can guarantee that.
You're gonna take very detailed GPS readings.
The property.
Well, yeah, and they should be on the blueprints also. That's why we have the engineer doing that.
Have this very clearly documented, so 15 years from now, and it's dug
Right.
up to hook up, there are no surprises.
Yeah,
And why you do it versus the property owner. where-
Oh.
It
Correct.
should be right there. Yeah,
the other thing is the curb stop, even though that belongs to the town, that infrastructure is paid for by the customer. That's also, we want to make sure that's, it's not us putting it in, it's them
Right,
paying for that part.
but that'll be, we're gonna have to have some communication in a letter when they'll need to go out saying.
Yeah.
This is possible, but that's your. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that we'll get some responses from some of the easements that we handed out that they want to do this or proceed with an extra. And then we'll have to figure, we're gonna have to bring the engineer in to take a look, make some measurements, see where they're gonna be. There's gonna be another easement, which would have to come out. So it would be, you would end up with two easements.
And it seems to me ideal to at least give a range of estimated cost, like what it's gonna cost a property owner to put in a curb stop.
Well, a curb stop in a corporation, I haven't priced down yet, but the curb stops, I think we're running right around $300. That's our cost.
That's your cost, but what about the plumbing or like when they're putting in the water line? That company will actually be putting in the curb stop?
If, yeah, but if they're not gonna put one if we don't have it on the blueprints,
Right.
so we're gonna have to.
So I have a question, what physically is a curb stop?
Curb stop, all it is a shut off that you can access from up on top.
It's just a valve,
It's a valve that's in the water, so
water line here,
the main water line has what they call a saddle. It's basically a strap that goes around the back and bolts to a corporation that goes into the PVC or cast iron or what it is. That has a valve on it.
Okay.
But that's not, usually it's only to put it in, then that's opened, flushed out, and then there's from there to the curb stop is a copper corporation pipe. And then there's the curb stop. From the curb stop to the house is copper also. And you have the valve that you can turn. That's what a curb stop is. It's a long valve. The valve is at the bottom, like 6 feet down. And then there's a rod that comes up part way, and then we put in another rod that comes down and they mate together. And then it just gives you access to quarter turn the curb stop. That shuts it off, and then you turn it quarter back and it goes on.
where does the water meter go?
Water meter's in the basement.
This goes in the basement.
Yeah. There is a ball valve and there is a shut off in the basement.
Okay.
And then there is the water meter and after the water meter is a check valve. And those things we're all responsible for, the town. But everything else is the customers.
Oh, the water meter and the check valve.
The water meter, the shut off, the check valve are all the responsibility of the water department. It has come to our knowledge that the order that those are installed should be changed. It would have been nice to have known it before we installed all our water meters. The water meters are so accurate that if there is any leaking or ability to suck air, they will run backwards. And we have one meter that runs backwards. There's nobody in the house and it runs backwards fair amount.
So do we cut them a check?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, huh?
Somebody buying water from.
No, we're not, but it does show, I argued extensively with Zenner over this one. And they are 100% sure if we take the check valve out and put it before the meter, that we will not have this issue. Their issue is that there's enough. It's up by the town garage, the home, and they say there is enough back suck in the pipes that it will actually, it's only like a gallon every other day or so, but they say there's enough backflow there created by the rest of the system.
Enough pressure, if you will, or head.
Yeah, negative pressure.
Yeah.
And that these are so accurate that it shows that it's reading backwards.
Okay.
So in the long story short, yeah. That's, I mean, we have the corporation off of the main to, and a small section of pipe to the curb stop. And then from the curb stop, which is basically just a shut off, to the home, there's the pipe, and then we own that little section inside where the meter is.
So in theory, there should be valves that could be shut off at the supply line, at the curb stop, and in the house?
Well, in theory, yeah, the one on the pipe is usually only used when the saddles, you can live tap a water main. It's real common, and there's a guy that does them out of Northfield. He did one for Gary Brassor over here. Basically, he comes, he's got a machine, he puts the saddle on, and it actually drills a hole right through the corporation into the main, live, pulls the bit out, and out sprays the water, and he shuts it off. And that's standard practice everywhere.
So that shut off though is buried once you.
Yeah, most generally.
That shut off's used only in installation.
Yeah,
There's no way to use. it.
you'd no way to use it. It's the curb stop shut off that it's accessible to us. Yeah.
So that's what, okay. And that's the piece that people will have to pay for, right?
Yeah, it's basically a brass shut off, sets on a flat block. And then it comes up with and there's a cast iron box that sets over it, protecting it from the dirt and everything, and it comes up, there's a rod inside there for about 4.5 feet. And then that connects to this, and there's a little cotter pin. We have had those cotter pins break.
But they're designed for people.
Well, yes, but then you have to dig it up to reconnect it. So they're not. The old ones, when you shut them off, they had a weep hole in them and allowed water to drain out from the house.
Mhm.
They outlawed those because obviously anytime there's a weep hole, if you turn them to close them and they didn't close all the way, the weep hole would be open, and you could potentially have contamination getting back into the system.
This is a weep hole.
Just a little hole that lets the
How is that spelled?
weep,
Weep hole, okay.
yeah,
Like crying.
yeah,
I thought you were saying we hole,
no,
and I couldn't make that make sense.
weep hole.
We fold.
Yeah,
You
Um,
fold.
I can bring in a curb stop and show you how they work. I mean,
Did you
that's,
bring in a weep hole?
I don't, well, we might have one that has a weep
No, no,
hole in
it's
it.
all good. You can't bring in a whole.
I actually think it would be worth doing that and maybe even ask MMC TV to do a close-up. Because then anyone interested could go to that, say, watch that section of that meeting and you can see what.
I'll
we're
bring
talking-
one in next time. For the September 2nd meeting.
Which
On
will be
Tuesday.
special.
So I have a question. I was just reading through all this. It was one bit in here about, I guess this has to do with permits. So, well, if you're putting in the extra, excuse me, the curb stop, do you have to file for a permit?
For what? I'm confused a little.
In here, it talks about, oh, this is a sewer permit.
So there's an application that I
Yeah.
remember seeing, and then the zoning permit, you're gonna have to do all this stuff before you
Right.
actually build. But I think what we're after is you can get this put in, turned off. And it's a cheap way of doing it because everything's dug up right now, right?
Right, I mean, it essentially what would have to happen is you would have to, if we don't allow the customer at this point to do this, there, and they come back, you know, and say they want to put in one, maybe a year later or 2 years later, the process is pretty much the same, except they're gonna have to dig to the main. They're gonna have to pay somebody to live tap it. There's only a couple of companies out there that do it. That alone, I think, is like $500. And then they're still gonna have to pay for the curb stop. We're just giving them the ability right now, when we do this, if you want to, or you think you're gonna have the possibility, let's get and they'll have to go through an easement process and everything too, so. We're just trying to make it a little easier. I think that's the whole gist.
I mean, I think it's great that, what a great thing to take advantage of if you think you're gonna, even if you think you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
And there's no guarantee about what you can build, where, how big, like that is.
we're just giving them the access to the water.
How does it work for then, say 5 years down the line, they build a accessory dwelling unit or, I guess a duplex, right?
Yeah,
What about sewer? Can
well,
they-
then they'll still have to put a sewer line
They'll
in.
have a separate sewer line, they
Yeah.
can't connect to the existing sewer line to have it all drained into one?
Hmm.
It really depends what they're building.
Okay,
In my eyes, if they have a house that they've already converted into a duplex, I would strongly encourage them to put in another sewer line.
so they're gonna have to go through the easement process for the sewer anyway.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah,
So it doesn't save everything, it just saves.
Yeah,
some cost.
I mean,
They'll still, but I imagine that excavation would be in a different location than the
Yes.
sewer line anyway.
Yeah.
No, yeah, okay,
I hope so.
it's not like you're gonna have to dig the same hole, okay?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, they do not, in the old days, it was allowed, sewer line and water.
But now there's what, 8 feet of separation?
Yeah, they used to allow them in the same trench,
Okay,
and it was common that, you know, they were in the same trench.
no, I knew there was separation, I just didn't know if it was like vertical or it's usually horizontal.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the other side of this, when we're done, we will know where the water line is, where the sewer line are, and where the connections are, because they're all recent history.
Yeah.
Versus the mysterious, where is it?
We're getting really close in all of our curb stop locations and whether they're active. We have pretty close to 30 curb stops that we're gonna have to dig up and do something with, because they're not, they don't work, or something is wrong with them. But for the most part, we've located almost all curb stops in town. I think we've got, I told them not to do Cochran and I told them not to do Bridge. And we had already done Tilden though, but, so most of them have already been located and we've got, physical measurements. And from corners of the building, not porches, from buildings. And we have a physical photograph of the key in the curb stop. So we can locate them really easily. And those are what I brought out to show everybody on,
Nice.
their easement.
I'm wondering if, and I don't know how we think about some spreadsheet or whatever of what the reserve capacity, I know I'm talking sewer now. Reserve capacity, because I just assume if you're putting the water, you know, you also be dealing with sewer, and right now.
Except in the case of very far.
That's true.
Yeah.
In town though, you'll have to do it, right? I mean, if you're gonna add an accessory or whatever it's called, additional dwelling unit.
I think we're right around third capacity right now.
Is it worth it to consider
Well, we should, yeah,
a spreadsheet of something?
yep. It's more on the allocation for water usage is where I think we need to look first.
Okay.
Only because I would hate to get into a spot where we've exceeded what we have the ability. If you've paid attention to the news lately, North Hero had water shortage just recently, along with Burlington and Colchester, both have had water issues. So, you know, every time the pump kicks on, we fill the tank and it's been there, but you know, it's not to say that we couldn't be in that position someday.
I think it's worth it to have it, so, and then maybe we bring it up every 6 months so that everybody's, just sort of tuned in to what our capacity is, and then if people start building, adding units, and we see that.
Well, it's, from my understanding, the tank is plenty big enough.
Yeah.
It's pulling water out of the ground, and what's the aquifer doing?
Yeah.
And people have generally said, oh, it's coming off all that hillside towards the river. So there's water coming through, but will that be true forever?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there are towns that get into a water shortage issue. And then they have to find an ulterior source. And, you know, Heinsberg was in that a couple years back. Their well ended up contaminated because of the fire at the creamery. And got contaminated with PFAS, the aquifer. And they had to find another water source. And, you know, they were luckily enough to find one that was in a different aquifer that didn't have the contamination, but.
And the water at Essex Junction is perpetually contaminated because of the IBM plant. They gotta put water in the ground all the time to keep the chemicals from getting into the drinking water.
Right.
Really? Yeah. The only way, they're never gonna be able to get it all out, so the only thing they can do is continually pump water down there to keep the chemicals from intruding into the drinking water aquifer.
Well, I'm not even sure how that works.
Yeah, that's some good geology there.
There's a hydrologist involved also.
Which you can't see, you're walking out, you can't see it.
I mean, we in the Northeast are so blessed by the water sources that we don't have that issue that the Southwest and, you know, the West have.
I remember when I first moved to Richmond, 2002, there were several homes that went dry. That just flat out went dry. So it can happen.
Yeah.
I will say also, we have batted around briefly the idea of exploring a secondary water source for just as you described, but we've never invested the time or money in identifying that. And then, of course, you get into easements and testing and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, there's not a lot of data that I found on the well when it was put in, what the gallons were, and you know, it should be checked every few years. One of the things that is on my list is, the pump. I want the pump assessed because that hasn't been changed for a number of years, and that does work a lot.
That would be a bad thing to have failed.
Correct.
If it did fail, how long would it take to get it replaced?
I have no idea.
That's something we might want to know.
I know.
Yeah.
It's on my list, but, it is a major problem and one that we need to talk about.
Is that a future agenda item to kick that around? Like,
It should be. I mean, I have talked with a couple of different people. For one, the pump manufacturer, does not exist anymore.
Swedish well company.
It's a submerged pump?
Yeah, it's a vertical turbine, I believe is what they call it. Yeah. You gotta remember, our well is only 35 feet deep.
Huh.
I mean, just to give you, Heinsberg is, I think 1,500.
15 freaking hundred, wow.
wow.
Well,
Denise, you need to stop using so much water shampooing people.
Just thinking, oh my God, what happens if we lose water? up
Yeah, yeah.
there?
Yeah,
We're out of business. Put folding tanks on the roof. It'll rain.
there you go.
Thank you.
Well, it strikes me what you do that day is start making arrangements to fill the tank from trucks. Because what else you got, right?
It would be. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, it would be Champlain Water District, I think, would be the only one that would be able to.
Produce that.
We would have about a week's lead time there that we can get a game plan together. But it's worth talking about in a future agenda.
We won't put it on the back burner.
No, it's on our list of things, when we catch up with every breakdown that we have, we need to do something about getting the pump assessed and going forward with that.
For those watching later or today who are curious about what I was saying about Essex Junction, I put the link there into the chat.
There you go.
Not a good situation.
That's. All right, next up, let's see. Superintendent's report.
So, I mentioned last time I was here that dewatering was still working, even though the day tank had a big hole in it. Only to have the incline conveyor break the very next morning.
Breaking things.
Look, we pulled the incline conveyor screw out. It snapped in half. Nothing obvious, like always, in there that we could find. We had it over to Giro's. They welded it for us and we had it back in within 24 hours. We basically, because of the way I dewater, we keep everything empty. We really didn't not take any septage. So we stayed open. It's just that conveyor is old. It is had a lot of life through it. It just needs a new one. I mean, it turns, the whole time has to pull all that biosolids up to the top. There's never anything obvious in it when it breaks. It just, and there's no rhyme or reason to when it does. It has lasted almost a year from the last time we had Giro's weld it. And they trued it all up at that point, and they did the same thing this time, but. Cost us $123 to get it welded,
Wow.
but, so that's back together. We have decided that we're gonna probably patch the day tank. The engineers would like to see a patch going all the way around. I think that's probably right. We just need to get inside now, clean it out. And then start the process of sanding it all down and getting it ready for patching.
They have to patch inside and outside.
No, I think they thought that if we put a complete patch all the way around on the inside, that will be sufficient. The pressure's from the inside, not from the outside.
And is that fiberglass? I mean.
It
literally
is.
You're talking
Yeah.
fiberglass,
Yeah.
like fabric too.
Yeah.
How about resecuring the mixer? Is on chapter.
Yeah, I haven't, I talked with Giro's a little bit about that. They think that they could, if we get the, framework, if we get the top of the tank, some kind of a measurement and arc with them, that they could create a steel ring that could go, the top of the tank, is like this. And this is the part where the bolts are, and this is the tank wall. Well, they feel if we could put a piece of steel in the radius around the top of the tank, and then we could rebolt it back through on the top. And that would give it more strength, because you then have a piece of steel going all the way around the top of the tank. And that would work.
I don't know. Position.
Well, it's better than just being in the fiberglass. That's really, there was nothing there. Once it got working, it just worked its way out.
Yeah. Yes.
So we've got a plan on the tank, but we are able to do water without it. We know that, and that's how we just finished filling a trailer to go, so it's going this morning, tomorrow morning. The filter tanks, we're still down to one. The new valves got here on, Thursday. They're in place. I'm just waiting for the electrician to come wire them all back up. And those should be good to go. At least we can have both filter tanks online in case anything happens. The aeration, I've gotten all 3 quotes now, and I'm just going through and trying to decide which route we want to go. And see the big aeration tank, and that the aeration quotes are for doing something with the digester. The big aeration tank, that we cleaned last year, we've gone through, we've changed all of the diffuser heads in there. We filled it back up partially, and checked the flow and stuff of air. And what we found is there's some cracks in the PVC lines that go to these diffusers. There's 3 major ones that we think. The problem is the quote to fix them is really expensive. But we've talked it over with the engineers, and they think we might be able to just PVC, clean the plate areas where the pipes are cracked and put a PVC patch kind of on the pipe. They think that will work and hold, and so that's the route we're gonna go. We just, with everything else, we haven't had time to go there. And I got word today that the new influent pump that we ordered is going to be shipped October 3rd, and that will be shipped it's in the United States. So we'll have it the second week of October, and then we'll start putting that in.
You're putting that in on your own, right?
Huh?
Putting that in on your own.
Yep.
You have like a special lift of some sort that brings it over and drops it in.
Sure.
But when you pull it out, you had something that was.
To this one, it's not just easy to get. Yeah, there's a lift. Once we get-
And like there was.
This one is not supposed to be so heavy.
Okay.
But we still need to get it down to the first floor in the basement, and then there is a lift down to the bottom from
What do you
there.
get in the basement for?
Well, that's the question. We'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Don't hurt your back.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we've got a pretty good applicant, I think, on the line. We did, she did a walkthrough, and then we had a follow-up interview today with Josh. And I think things are progressing there.
Steve, I know, I think to speak for everybody, we appreciate everything you do to keep that plant going. People need challenges in life.
It is a challenge sometimes, and lately it just seems to be, every step forward is 20 steps in reverse, but Brad will remind me, he's like, and he keeps a pretty good detailed list somewhere, but he's like, do you remember we have all these things that we've done and fixed it? And we're still moving forward. He's like, the progression is still forward. It's still better than when we took over.
You ever watch the Red Green Show?
Yes.
That's a documentary,
Yeah.
It's a Canadian TV show where everything can be fixed with duct tape.
Pretty much.
I was gonna say, I think we're beyond the duct tape.
Yeah, I mean, I will truly say, I do try to take advantage of every ability to cut costs that I can. That's not to be said that I'm cutting corners. I just try to find an alternative way to make it affordable.
Eric?
Yeah, Mary Hull, although I'm not on town water and sewer, I really appreciate the ability that the folks in water and sewer present, and that Giros can pretty much do miracles over there. They're awesome.
They are.
Because any repair, I don't care if it's your tricycle for $125.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Or your sob for
Yep.
43 bucks.
There you go.
Oh, oh, okay.
And it was good work too.
Yeah, I sent him over.
You didn't get, it's European well. All right.
Yeah, the Giro brothers are truly, I mean, if it is metal and somebody made it, they can make it again or refix it or
They do good
duplicate it.
work too.
And yeah, I've been going there. I grew up with their father and brothers were running the place, and Bob and Steve pretty much have grown up at the business, and I grew up bringing stuff with them from every farm that I've ever worked on.
Between Giroux and duct tape.
Huh?
Between Giroux and duct tape.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't find you handsome. They ought to find you handy.
Well, I wanted to propose something to the commission here is, maybe it's what I think is there any way you think that we could, all get together over at the plant?
We'd have to warn it.
We have to warn it, and that's right, because it's Wartline. But I thought collectively, if everybody saw and walked through the 20-year study upgrade.
Sure.
Well, we did a walkthrough of Southview. We can do a walkthrough of the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time.
Let's talk with MCTV and try to find when they would have a camera person.
And
available.
Galaxy's still in Greece, but we can talk to her when she gets back.
Yeah, that'd be good to figure it out. 'Cause I know last year Duncan did Southview, but if we had one of their folks, it'd be helpful probably.
That'd be
So yeah, I think we could do that.
I think, I'm just trying to think ahead here as we start to talk about the cost of this and that would be great. If people can see and then hear about, this is why we have to spend $1 million or $2 million, and understand that, pictures. I worked in the offshore industry for over almost 20 years, and we said if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, do it in
Baffle 'em.
color. Is do it in color, but no, the point of being is, if you have that, you can see that.
No.
And also, I selfishly, for me anyway, it's like truly seeing and understanding. I'm like, I have to like.
No, I am fully in support of that. Come on down.
That would be great if we can figure out.
Bring our sandwiches.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, wait, we could even get some food trucks down there.
yeah, blow us in on one of those nice smelly days.
Buffet will be in the press room.
We're there. We, along with that, we are struggling to find somebody to get an affordable way to get our logos onto shirts. We have contacted several people, and all three of us at the plant feel that the price they're giving us is too far out.
Now, do you want these embroidered or just printed?
Yeah, well, we were going with this type embroidered and in the past, so these shirts, basically we were buying these shirts off Amazon and sending them out to where Kendall used to get these.
Oh, I can get you a much cheaper place to get them than Amazon. There's a site called Jiffy Shirts.
Oh, no, these shirts right here were 6 shirts for like, I think $12.
Yeah, that's about right.
And we're getting a quote of $15 a piece.
Printed or naked?
No, embroidered.
I would check out
and-
customink.com just if you haven't.
Well, we're trying to do it local. And so we've contacted 802 Printing and some other places, but we tried to use the people that Pete uses, and their price, I think, was like $20 a shirt, and I was like, no way, it's not.
$2 a shirt, did I hear you right?
Well,
For the shirts, and then we would mail them to this,
The embroidery was $2 a shirt.
yeah.
Okay, I got you, that
Yeah.
makes more sense. Okay, the other.
But
place-
now we're looking at like $15 a shirt.
Just for the embroidery?
No, that's a shirt and an embroidery together, but it just seems expensive, so we're trying to find an, and the one thing that
Little
we,
League shirts and we order 200 of them.
yeah,
I mean, we get them all like so screened and
Yeah.
printed and everything. But that doesn't seem like a terrible price.
well, to us it did.
Well, you get, obviously it's cheaper in volume.
Right.
I'm not actually kidding when I say this.
No.
We might be able to hawk them to the community because everybody wants to be.
Well, the one thing that we wanna do is we want hats. All of us at the plant want hats, and that is something that everybody, a lot of people wear hats.
I would have a couple, I mean, some places we use for Little League.
Yeah,
Might be able to.
okay,
Look at those. So
Yeah.
I'll be around. Yeah.
so we are trying to get the new logos out there, but
I think you probably have some good online resources, it sounds like.
So I've been doing-
Do it.
I've been using Custom Ink for years. They're not local.
Yeah.
But they're extremely good to work with and they're very cheap.
okay. Well,
I have a
good,
guy that we use for our car show. I just asked for the contact info.
okay,
We're gonna start putting it on the town website, hats and t-shirts.
there you go.
One nice thing is a lot of these places like Custom Ink do print on demand. So you can actually have a form up where you can just say, I live on Dugway Road and I worship the ground Steve walks on. And I'd like to get a double XL shirt in blue. And you just put in your information, pay your thing, and here a shirt shows up.
Yeah. Oh,
And you can actually put a surcharge over the top of it that the charitable organization or whatever that's doing the fundraiser gets.
yeah, cool. All right, see, just have to ask.
Your frugality.
No, well, we, when we started looking, all of us are like, no way, this is too much.
Reality. Yeah. Okay, items for next meeting or? Do we have anything else in the?
Curb stop display.
First off, show and tell.
Hopefully we will have probably
And
easement,
price estimates, maybe.
Yeah, I'll have that.
on. Report on the bond.
Yep, right, probably. I think we'll have the request for the change order for the engineers. From step 2 to step 3, they didn't have it until today, so. I should have that next meeting.
Should we mention that there's a meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, is that
Oh,
link available? I didn't have it.
I forwarded, yeah.
Okay,
well,
'cause I went back and looked. I didn't get it. I know it's there because I've seen your emails.
yeah, sometimes when they send it in like a meeting invite, it screws me up.
Yeah.
I have to copy and paste it because it just sort of goes into the ether for me.
Yeah, I think that's what
So
happened
I
with
can-
this.
I can get that for it. I think I got it.
Okay,
Alright.
Mr. Chairman, move to adjourn.
Second,
Please state your vote.
Art, I.
David, I.
Jay, aye.
Well, you know,
Now comes the best part.
you adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Maureen.